Anyhow, looks like we've got a lot of people jumping on here. I see a lot of teammates. I see a lot of people from all over the world posting stuff in here. So thank you very much. And I think I'm probably ready to rock and roll. What do you guys think? You guys ready to roll? Can I get some hearts, some likes, some emojis, or whatever? Fire those out. Because I like to watch the replays of these just to see if I made any sense. I was, coherent enough to really give it to you straight so you could enjoy it and learn from it. But you're going to be very excited about tonight because I cut right to the point. I get right to the point. I talk fast, but I'm sure you can listen fast. I will slow down at some important points, but I think you're going to really, really enjoy this. So let me go ahead and pull up the presentation, and I'm going to go full screen for you so you can see this nice and big. And I should be up in the corner right there. I think I am. I'm just going to give myself a second to ramble for just a moment, tell you a little bit about myself while I watch it pop up to make sure it's all taken care of. But my name is Mike Healy. I reside in Columbus, Ohio. I've been married to the same awesome woman, Stacy Healy, for the last 24. How old am I? 23 years. We've known each other for 25 years. Got three amazing kids. I am now officially the shortest guy in my house. I'm 51 years old. All of my kids, I'm not that tall. I look tall on camera, as you can probably tell, but I'm really not that tall. I'm like 5'6 3/4" on a good day with shoes on. But I will tell you this, I do have some very good experience in the direct selling networking industry. I have been involved in it for nearly 23 years. It's provided, believe it or not. I know a lot of people, good or bad. I just would like, if you don't mind, while I give this presentation, don't put aside all emotion, all things of that you might have thought about networking, and just hear me out, and then you can make a decision about this afterwards. But it has basically created a full-time income for my family, and I've been able to raise three kids with it and live a pretty comfortable life, to say the least. It's been very enjoyable. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't come with some heartaches and some issues, but I think what you're going to see is this opportunity with iBuumerang is potentially something. It's definitely a game changer. It's definitely something different. You're going to hear that a lot of people talk about it, calling it, they say the hashtag is just different. And when I was first originally introduced to iBuumerang, I was pretty skeptical because I had actually gotten out of the industry a little bit and became a consultant. I got into internet marketing. I created a massive Amazon business, online business. I've been a consultant for network marketing companies. I've written comp plans. I own a traditional business outside of this. I've had real estate. So I've done a bunch of stuff to generate an income for my family. But something always kind of led me back into the freedom and the fun that I always had in networking. Okay. Now, what I'm going to tell you is I typically talk about 5 things that I think are relevant points that you're going to need to hear. And I'm going to close with those 5 when I get to them. But they're extremely important to the messaging here. Okay. So all that being said, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Is the majority of people who are taking a look at this opportunity are joining. Okay. The majority of people that take a good look, are joining. I always tell people at least know what you're saying no to before you make your decision. Because a real business person or a person that really has some common sense will at least look at something, make a sound decision based on facts, information, data, that kind of thing, and then say no. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have every right to do that. I will tell you, though, that why the majority of people are saying no to this is because this is different. This totally makes sense. And you're going to see that it's very doable. Okay. I always talk to everybody that I've mentioned this to and all the trainings I do is that people typically are asking themselves 2 main questions when they're looking at an opportunity like I'm about to show you. Is it worth doing? And can I do it? And I think by the time I'm done, you're going to see that. I am going to keep this down to probably less than 30 minutes. So let's just jump right into it. First and foremost, we're talking about a business opportunity here. And there are some obnoxious amounts of money already being made. The company's paid out, I think, over $13 million in commissions in a few months. So that's a lot of money that's been paid out there. But here's the disclaimer is we don't guarantee incomes. Okay. You're probably smart enough to know that this is not a get rich quick. This is a real business. And if you treat it as such, you can probably potentially make some decent money. If you get in and don't do anything, it doesn't matter getting in early or ground floor. If you don't do anything, you won't make any money. So it's very, very simple, but you need to see this disclaimer. Okay. Now, like I mentioned a second ago, network marketing has been around for many, many years, and it's a very, very good business model. A lot of real successful multi-billionaire business people do actually suggest network marketing for people, because you really get to learn a lot of personal development skills. You get to learn how to be a better person. You learn communication skills. Some of my best friends, one of the greatest benefits of being in network marketing, some of the greatest friends I have today, I met 23 years ago, and I continue to meet new people. Okay, so you can't overlook the benefits of network marketing. But there are a lot of things in network marketing that have been done the same old-fashioned ways for years and years and years and years. And this is a great slide, even though it's very generic, that it's time to get with the program. The founder of our company, I think, or I know, is the single greatest networker that's ever walked the planet, and his name is Holton Buggs. They consider him the Michael Jordan of the network marketing industry. I always tell people the example of, if Warren Buffett, if you were in investment marketing and Warren Buffett said, "Hey, I'm starting a company in investments," you'd almost be dumb not to look at it at least, right? You can say no, but like I said, you would look at it just because of who it is. When I heard it was Holton Buggs, that's the first and foremost only reason I took a very serious look, because because of the level of what I've done in the industry, I get pitched all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I look at just about everything. But the reason I saw this and I wanted to look really closely was, here's the single largest income producer in the history of our industry, Holton Buggs, that was going to launch his own company. And when I heard the story of why he wanted to change things and make it different and create what we call a first-class consumer customer experience, which helps you and I create a residual income. Okay, a residual income. Now, if you're not familiar with a residual income means you do some work today, but you continue to get paid on that work again and again and again and again. The best part about residual income is you're not always like a normal traditional job. Is you're not having to trade hours for dollars, right? And what's nice about this type of business is this is a business that you don't have to get a second job to create supplemental income, become some kind of internet whiz, or push any kind of products on people. That's one of the best parts I have. We have a new model. Okay. The old model of network marketing, as you're probably familiar with, is customers typically pay more on a product they can get cheaper at Costco or Walmart or whatever, that the companies have to mark up by like triple to pay commissions for people talking about it. But the word of mouth model works. I mean, word of mouth created MySpace. Word of mouth created Facebook. It created Twitter. It created Instagram. It created Pinterest. It created Amazon. Basically, it's word of mouth creates these massive things. Uber. Okay, all these companies are created through word of mouth. The model works, but the problem in most cases in networking, especially product-based companies, is they jack the price up, and consumers are smarter than that these days. And typically, only the strongest recruiters win. This is why we're different, is this one right here. In our model, you and I make money only when we save a customer money on, get this, on something they were already going to spend money on. Already going to spend money on something. So here's the other thing is, we are not, in every case, we are not asking somebody to get on an auto ship or spend money they weren't already going to spend. And how we're going to do that is very simply this. We're tapping into the largest industry on the planet, which is basically travel. This is an 8 trillion with a T industry. 8 trillion with a T. That is such an enormous number, you can't comprehend it. I understand it. It's just you cannot comprehend it. The United States alone, which is where I live, $2.8 billion a day is spent in travel per day. Okay, you don't need too big of a slice of a pie this big to make a lot of money. You need an aroma off that pie, and you're financially sound. To tap into the biggest industry in the world, he allows us. Point one, Holton Buggs, best guy in the industry. Point two, travel, the largest. Okay, and we're using the backbone that we're using is a company called Extreme Travel. Now, here's something I want to divert just a little bit about the shell game that's kind of going on in the travel space. Okay, believe it or not, there are really only 2 major booking engines on the planet that monopolize everything. And the reason I call it a shell game is simply this, is all of these companies that you see like under Expedia Group, they are all owned by Expedia Group. Travelocity, Orbitz, Trivago, Hotwire, Car Rentals, and so on are all owned by Expedia. So what they do is they trick people with a thing called parity and markup. I had to look up what the word parity meant. I did it a couple months ago when I first heard it. Parity means basically the same. So what they're doing is they are making you believe that you're getting a discount when you look at one of the travel platforms compared to another, but they're owned by the same company. So they flip flop the things and they can mark it up to whatever they want it to be. Same thing with the booking holdings and stuff. The thing that we have is this: the best way or the only way that you can get backdoor pricing on stuff that's not put out there public is to be your own travel agent. Guess what? With Extreme Travel, that's exactly what we have the opportunity to become, and use a private platform that nobody has. So we're literally have the ability to get 5-star places for 3-star prices. Okay. And as I go through this and I show you the business model side of this, so this is just a quick understanding of where we're tapping into. Okay. And I'm getting to the money. Extreme Travel's been around for, I think, 16 and 19 years. I've heard Barry, but I know it's over a 16-year-old company, and they've been sound and booked over $1 billion worth of bookings. And we are growing. We had over, if I'm not mistaken, we now have over 200,000 customers on the books with iBuumerang that have booked over $20 million worth of bookings already. And like I said, just a few months of us being in business. Okay, that's massive. What happens is you and I have the ability to get our own wholesale travel booking platforms and literally save up to 70% off what the retail prices are. Okay. There's discounts on just about everything you can think of. And I'm going to show you those in a second. So as an example, okay, so I want you to think about this. Why this makes sense is here's the thing. This is not magic. This is just math. This is not magic. This is just math. Is we have the ability, and hear me on this, because this will help this page make sense and the rest of this opportunity. We can gather customers cheaper. 100% of the time, we can acquire a customer cheaper than any other search engines or anything out there because of the word of mouth model. Their way of gathering customers is primarily almost 100% paid traffic. Advertising, radio, print, television, email, inbox, whatever it might be, everything you can think of. That's what we're doing. Our model is just gathering customers by word of mouth, telling somebody. But here's the thing. I want to, before I go, because I forgot to say this in the beginning. I don't want you also to just think that we are strictly a travel company. Travel is just the easiest thing to bring up in a conversation you could ever ask for. As far as marketing something, travel is a piece of cake to talk about. Everybody wants to do it. Every other network marketing company uses it as their incentive programs. We're doing it as a primary, right? But we are actually a technology company that's using, okay, the way this makes sense, we're a technology company using travel as a way to gather customers that we are going to be able to monetize in larger capacities down the road. This is a customer acquisition play. And here's why this works is if you look at this page, and I know I totally rambled on this page, but what happens is people can go to they can compare prices with all of the other things that people are familiar with. People are already used to doing this, shopping for their things online. But as an example, if Expedia had $339 total, we could offer it for $178 because we're not spending the millions of dollars in advertising. And here's the cool part. How you and I are compensated is we actually give somebody a code to become a free customer. And anytime that customer stays your customer for life, anytime they save money, you make 50% of the savings. You make 50% of the savings. So regardless of where they go or whatever, and I'm going to show you some examples, but like this is a Paris hotel. I've had this page up here long enough for you. We do car rentals. We do cruises. We do flights. We do restaurants. I'll show you those in a second. But think about these things. New York City, savings, okay? If these were your customers, you would be making 50% off of that. What are you doing? You are literally giving somebody something for free, to help them save money on something they were about to spend money on in the first place. You cannot find an easier customer model out there. These are actual bookings, and you can look online, probably on the Boomerang page, or get back with the person that got you on here, and you can see thousands of examples now of people who are posting screenshots or pictures of their savings from their phones or their emails. But think about these. These are actual booking savings. You would be, if these were your customers, you'd make 50% of that. You'd make 50% of that. You'd make 50% of that. You'd make 50% of that for doing nothing but giving somebody a free code. And like I mentioned, we have all these different things: hotels, cars, cruises, weeks, homes, flights, marketplace, timeshares. And we can back everything up with a 110% price guarantee on the savings, even if they don't find it. And I always give my customers, anybody I've introduced to this, I give them an out, and I also give them a realistic expectation. I say, hey, you know how to shop for stuff online, don't you? You know, to look for crew. Yeah. I say, hey, just try this website and tell me what you think. If you see something, use it. If not, no big deal. And by doing that, doesn't cost the customer anything. They don't have to get a membership, and they're getting the same booking platforms that the big guys use, but we are the ones that provide it for those customers totally for free. And like I said, and there's other services coming. We'll be able to monetize those same customers for years and years and years. Once that person's a customer, they're a customer for life. And you got to remember this too. Just so you heard Mike say this to you, and I told you ahead of time. Just like Uber created one of the fastest companies to ever become a multi-billion-dollar company, it did it strictly through word of mouth by telling somebody to put an app on their phone. Same thing with Lyft, same thing with the other companies out there. And basically they put it on there. But once that customer's taken, that customer's taken. They already registered, they are registered. So you want to find it, you want to figure out if you want to be the person that gathers customers or not. Okay, so the play on words with our company is, do you boomerang? Well, what is iBuumerang? I throw out savings and money comes back. That's kind of where they got the play on words. You're going to hear that. Like I said a couple slides ago, we make 50%, or you make 50% on any customers that you help save money. Okay. Now, here's the cool part. A couple ways to approach this business. If the business is not for you, go ahead and be a customer. Appreciate you being on here and lasting this long. Great. Thank you very much. You can be a customer for free. Just get back with a person, get one of their codes, activate it, you're good to go. Or you could choose to become what we call a TSA, a travel savings ambassador. Now, the difference is, as travel savings ambassadors, we actually get pretty much the full benefits of being a travel agent, I guess you could say. And we typically get the highest pricings. Customers normally see about a 50% discount, 50% less savings than what we do. We get the full savings in most cases, depending on packages. But that's what's really nice about this. But if this was you, and you saved this kind of money and so on, you're still making money every time, like I said, getting a customer. So if you got this customer right here that booked this all inclusive, you would have made 50% of that, which would be your travel savings bonus on that. So that's a pretty good way to supplement your income. Think about the things that you have to do to bring in an additional $849. If you really took the time to think about that, is it easier to go get a part-time job, wait tables, park cars, whatever you might do, part-time or whatever, or give somebody a code and let them go do what they were about to do and give away a bunch of codes? Now, I want to show you the kind of the model, the income generating model that we have right here, because if you start to really get this running through your head, I apologize, but you're probably not going to sleep tonight. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's how it works. Let's say you just gathered 10 customers. And I'm going to slowly walk you through this, because if you get it, like I said, you're probably going to lose sleep. Let's say you found 10 people, friends, family, acquaintances, whatever, that you just said, I don't know if I can help you or not, but you were talking about going to Vegas. Here, I can give you a code to activate a private membership website to give you backdoor pricing, or you can you can say, I can give you 5-star places for 3-star prices. Whatever you got to do to get them to activate their site. Once they activate it, they go in, they can look around at their leisure and find millions and millions of things to do there, everything. But here's what they've identified. They've identified that they believe, based on what the numbers have shown, is that the average customer will save, with all the different things, about $600 annually. That means one customer potentially, if they save $600 and you had 10 total customers doing the averages, that would be $6,000 in total annual savings, which means that year, so if that was a 12-month period that we're doing this, you would have increased your income by an additional $3,000. You could probably go find your own really amazing trip for $3,000 because you shared some free codes with people. What if you got a little more aggressive and went out there and did this, and moderately over a period of time, you got over 100 customers yourself? And we actually now have people in just a few months in our company who have actually acquired over 500 customers. They make those announcements on Saturdays where the company does these presentations called flight school, which are kind of trainings to bring up people up to date. They show pictures from people all over the world. You can see the recorded ones on the iBuumerang channel. But think about this: if you had just 100 customers and they did the exact same thing, that's $30,000 in additional income per year because these customers aren't going anywhere. And we haven't even mentioned, if you look, it's already been posted that we are already bringing out a mobile service. We already just purchased a rideshare company called Vibe Rides that we're going to roll into this. These customers are going to be upsold, but the best part is, unlike traditional networking where you would have to be the one that went out there and talk to your customer about the new product, you just get them in, and the company takes care of it. The company looks at everything, and they take care of it. Real quick, I want to tell you just a quick story as to why this thing got so exciting for me when I first joined. So I just got in. I got into the top package, the $1,000 package, and I was like, okay, to my wife Stacy, I think this is going to be huge. That's basically it. She's like, okay. And my wife's one of those we're going to call her value conscious people who will not purchase anything unless it's a deal. And if it's not a deal, she will figure out a way to make it a deal, right? That's what, like me, it doesn't bother me. But here's what happened. She went on the booking platform after I joined. She goes in. She had to go to on a conference to Dallas, Texas. She looks for this conference by shopping around the site, looks at some different hotels. She's like, wow, this is pretty good. Looks pretty amazing. And doesn't make a purchase or a reservation at that moment. And I was like, well, cool. That makes me feel better. I just got in. But here's what happened. The very next day, this is so cool. The very next day, an email came in that said, hey, Stacy, we saw you looked at hotels in Dallas. So did we. Here are some other suggestions. And literally listed other things that she had not found that were better deals than what she had originally looked at. And she ended up making the purchase. Get this one. You ready for this? After she'd made that purchase, she got the thank you letter or thank you email. Congratulations, you saved X. It was like $85 a night. And then she got another email says, while you're in Dallas, here are some suggested restaurants. And you saw on the one page that I showed you that there's restaurants on there, there's suggestions. And it suggested some rental cars, which she ended up booking a rental car because she had to get from Dallas to Fort Worth for part of the other part of the convention. Think about that. When was the last time you got a customer into something and then the company took over all the marketing efforts using artificial intelligence technology, basically high level stuff that looks at the buying habits and the click things for everybody? What's going to happen if you decide to take this on and become more aggressive and get over 1,000 customers or 1,000 customers? We're going to have people that personally have 1,000 customers. It is going to happen. It is inevitable. Okay. People are really, really pushing for this without recruiting people. This is just strictly giving somebody a code. They activate a website. They're that person's customer for life, regardless of what they ever did. Okay. Now, if you want to build a team, if you want to introduce other people to do it, like I'm doing with you right now, I'm talking to you about this because we get pretty daggone excited about what we have. Because, like I said earlier, 2 questions people have to ask themselves: is it worth doing? Can I do it? Okay. Well, I think you're seeing that it is totally worth doing. If you actually got some people in here that became TSAs, and let's say they all just got 10 customers. So you had a team of 50 people that not you didn't get them all yourself, but maybe you got two, or whatever. And 50 people came into your what they call your team, your organization, your group, whatever you want to name. And each one just had 10 customers, just 10. And the average savings on here was 600 per. because they're in your organization, they take that almost the full $600, almost, you see it's 575 here, based on what they do, and they put that into the comp plan and they let you override 10%. Okay, we actually go 7 generations, and you can look that up with the person. I'm not going to give you details on that right now, but they give that to you on customers you had no idea who they were. You didn't acquire them, but because they wouldn't be here without you telling somebody, they're now part of our model, and they've gotten on there, and the company pays you. That's what makes networking so powerful if done correctly. Is you're rewarding somebody for the right behavior. And if you reward somebody for the right behavior, that behavior is repeated. That's why our company's growing so fast, as people are making money for giving away free codes and getting customers. If you got aggressive and built a team of 250 people, that'd be 2,500 customers you could override. Look at that. That's an annual income besides your own customer model, whatever you chose to do yourself, would be over 100 grand. What if you had a team of 1,000 people? And there are a lot of people that have over 1,000 people now in their organizations that have been in the company for, kind of when they just got started a few, back, the pre-launch days. It's really, really growing. Okay. Like I said, there's over 200,000 customers that have come on board, and that number is going up like in the thousands daily now. And it's going to go quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay. Now, how do you get started? Let me talk about that real quick. It's very simply this. Most people everybody joins at the $49 level, and I will show you that on the next slide. But there are also packages that people purchase, and the value of these packages is these are how you get the codes to get customers. Like, we purchase the codes to give to the customer for free. So there's value on that code. The reason that is not everybody can get a code. Like, if you buy only a certain amount of codes and you're out, right? Okay. So that's why we have the model we have. But the other thing too is, if you want to build a team fast, they have a thing called the dual team. And what a dual team situation is, a lot of you heard, and if you've been in network marketing circles, they call it a binary. Binary just means two. Is it, let's say you put 2 people in, like you put somebody in, you enrolled somebody that became a TSA, they go on your left, and the next person you put on your right. That means anybody else that you brought in, 3, 4, 5, 50, 100, whatever it might be, they will have to go down under those people. It just kind of goes like this. That's what makes this thing exciting. And if you're one of those people that's just taking a look at this, and the person that got you in is right here, and they have to fill one of their spots, you could be right here, or you could wait a long time, and a lot of people would have come in, and you missed out on that. Okay, you missed out on the benefits, and you get the details on some of the videos that are out there on the comp plans and stuff like that. But everybody that wants to do this as a business, you don't have to. As a customer, it's free, like I said. But as a business, everybody starts at the $49.95, which is called standby. You get basically the equivalent of a customer site at the standby level. You do get 5 boomerangs to send, but you only make 25% off the referral commissions. Okay. You do get the iDecide interactive presentation, and you do get a back office. Now, here's kind of the ace in the hole. Because I talked about the travel industry. I talked about, Holton travel and timing. I mean, we've got great timing with this thing because nobody's in it yet. This is, you hear the word, the key, the kind of catchy phrase is ground floor. But this business is going to be massive the way we're growing. And you're looking at it before the masses have seen it. Okay. But the other thing is systems. There's the interactive iDecide presentation is so cool because it's on your mobile phone or on your computer, and it comes with your membership, and you can give it to somebody, and it literally does all the presentation for you. It's like a 10-minute presentation. Excuse me, 10-minute presentation that basically asks questions. That's why it's interactive, and it asks you this question, you push a button. You ask this question, push a button. Ask this question, push a button. And it walks somebody right through it. And as soon as they're done watching it, you get a notification that the person says, no, thank you, want to be a customer, or join. And you can follow up with them immediately. Like, every day I get notifications of people who I've sent a text to that watch the iDecide presentation that then get back to me. It's the coolest thing, okay? So you can join for the $49.95. The majority of people, though, usually pick a package. This is what we call the packages. They're optional, but I would highly recommend them. I'm going to just cover them briefly. Coach class is a 250 one-time option right there. And what it does is it gets you access to the hotels, flights, and rental cars from your own travel booking engine. You do get 10 boomerangs. Boomerangs are the codes that you give out. You literally go into your back office, click, put, Lisa Smith, generate code, and you give it to her, and it's a 5-digit code. She puts it in, and she's good to go. You make 50% of the travel savings, and you make 10% commission in the dual team, and you can get with whoever got you in here to take a look at that. And then you get general lease to the luxury experiences. Business class is $500. The biggest benefit, I think, though, is you get 25 boomerangs and 100% of the travel savings bonuses. And you're picking up 12% of the dual team. Excuse me. And an overwhelming majority of people who are really taking this serious and building this as a business join at the first class level. And the first class level is $1,000. It gives you 50 boomerangs. And if you do the math on 50 times the $300 profit that I showed off the savings, that's like, 15 grand on annually, right? I'm obviously not guaranteeing that. But if you did the math based on the averages and the, what it could potentially be, think about that. That's why you want to have as many codes as you can. Occasionally, the company will run promotions. You can earn more and things like that. But I recommend the $1,000 one, okay? Because I also think that you'll take the business more seriously like this. You don't want to give up this opportunity because of making a poor financial investment early on in your business. Don't take it serious, okay? It's your business. You do what you want. All these are optional. And if you got in at the 250 position, you do have 60 days to upgrade. So it's totally up to you. There is a 99 monthly subscription fee for all enrollment packs, not in some countries, but it's very, very limited. It's like 2 countries. So it's more than likely not your country, but anything is usually 99.95. And that gives you everything: full access to your data, full access to your iDecides, full access to the back office tracking. Everything you can think of comes with that. Okay, it's just part of doing business. So I would tell you to get back with the person that got you on here. I'm just going to have a couple closing things real quick. See if I came back up on the screen. I'm going to be looking at myself over here and see if I did that right. If not, I may have missed it. But I would tell you this: that if you're taking a look at this, that this is an opportunity you have to really change your financial future if you really go for it. Okay, we literally have thousands of people joining our company probably daily now because it makes sense. I mean, people are posting videos from just about every country that you can think of. Okay, it is absolutely remarkable what this company has done in such a short period of time. Our first company launch was in Las Vegas. The official launch of our company happened in Las Vegas on September the 1st, and there was nearly 5,000, or there was almost 6,000. There was over 5,000 people at the first event, and probably half of them were from outside the United States, different countries. Mexico was well represented, Canada, people from Australia, Europe. I mean, Africa. I mean, it was absolutely mind blowing for me to see this, and they have the opportunity to be in on the ground floor of this thing. Okay. I had a friend tell me one time about networking and stuff like that. And he was working really hard, and I wasn't really taking it that serious and stuff like that. I didn't understand it to the degree that I obviously do now. And he said something that I never forgot. He said, there's a significant difference between making a living and having a life. And too many people are out there working jobs, careers that they really don't like, that in a lot of cases they hate or dislike terribly, and that they're just stuck because there's no other solution. I just gave you the solution. I just showed you a legitimate way to earn an income by participating in one of the largest industries in the world. And you're seeing this thing really, really early before anybody else out there seeing it. I mean, if you think about it, like I live in Columbus, Ohio, right? I'm an Ohio State Buckeyes football fan, tried and true, right? And don't hold that against me if you're not. But the amount of reps that are in the company worldwide wouldn't fill up probably half the stadium. And think about all the stadiums every Saturday that are full with hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people. Nobody knows about this yet, but they're gonna. Are you going to be the one that's telling them about it, or is somebody else? Because I'm telling you, there's nothing more disheartening to see something this good, hesitate a little bit, wait, justify why I might not do it or anything like that. And then 6 months from now, you see your buddy making some jack because they made a decision quicker. Leaders make quick decisions. I figured that out a long time ago. I didn't mean to keep rambling on here, and I'm going to get off my soapbox, but excuse me. But I would tell you this is we are a technology company first and foremost. We are a customer acquisition model using travel as our entry gateway to get people's attention. It's easy to talk about. There's no hindrance to it whatsoever. We're offering something to somebody for free that they were already going to spend money on, and now we get paid on savings, and we're going to be able to offer more and more services to monetize those same customers. I mean, what the customer is worth today is going to be like this a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now. That same customer that you had no idea that it would have been so impactful that you talked to 6 months ago or 6 years ago, who knows? That you could be making, residual income off of some of these services. I mean, there'll be residual services for sure. I mean, we've got the number one guy that's ever done this industry, and there have been thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have made millions of dollars in our industry of direct selling, network marketing, whatever you want to call it. Hundreds of thousands of people. And we have something that is absolutely just different, and you happen to have the ability to see it first. So, all that being said, if you'll do today what others won't, you can live tomorrow like others can't. My name is Mike Healy. I am out. Get back with the person that got you on here. Appreciate your time and attention. And don't forget, if it's recorded, you can share it, create a watch party on it, post it on your wall, and tell people what you're into. Don't be a secret agent. Go out there before somebody else gets those customers. Thanks again. I appreciate your time and attention.